one of the most important curves, which comes in use every year. Almost every year, this actually comes in use in some report or some other report. Mostly, World Bank has a report on Lorenz curve. A very important topic. What do you mean by a Lorenz curve? This is actually related to income distribution or wealth distribution among a population. What is the distribution of wealth among a population? This is actually being discussed in what? Lorenz curve. It is used to measure what? Economic inequality based on distribution of wealth. Based on distribution of wealth. How well the wealth is being distributed across the country based on the population. Okay. So, in economic inequality, how well the wealth is distributed across the population. If it is very well distributed, there is less inequality. Otherwise, there is more inequality. So, economic inequality is being measured. That is, it is being calculated on how distribution wealth is being distributed in the country. So, it is a graphical representation of the distribution of income or wealth and population. Distribution of income or wealth within a population. It actually is a relationship between what? Percentage of population and its share of income in total income. A percentage of population. How far does a percentage of population actually have? For example, if there are 100 people, there is 100 crore. 100 people in a nation, 100 crore is the GDP of that country. How well the 100 crore is divided? If each person gets 1 crore, it is equally divided. That is 100% of the population has 100% of the wealth. That is equally divided. Okay, so this actually plots how is this distribution happening among the population. Okay, so this is the Lorenz curve. This is the Lorenz curve. On the x-axis we have percentage of population. On the x-axis we have percentage of population, and on the y-axis we have wealth or national income. Wealth or national income on the y-axis, percentage of population on the x-axis. So this is a hypothetical line that represents perfect equality. That means if you look at this graph, this is a perfect equality graph, a straight line at 45 degree, a straight line at 45 degree angle. So this represents perfect equality. How is this being measured? Let's take a look. For example, take 20% of the population. This is being marked to 20% of the national income. There is equal distribution. Take, for example, 50%. Then it is actually shared between 50% of the population. 50% of wealth is being shared between 50% of the population. This is a very hypothetical graph. That represents perfect equality. That doesn't happen perfect equality anywhere. So this is a hypothetical graph. Okay, hypothetical situation, that is perfect equality. That is 50% of the population is actually sharing 50% of the population. Here, look at this. 100% of the population sharing 100% of the wealth. There is equal distribution of wealth. Every person has equal wealth. There is equal distribution of wealth. That is the hypothetical perfect equality curve or a straight line at 45 degree angle. Okay, this is the hypothetical situation. And this is the real Lorenz curve. In a hypothetical situation, there is perfect equality. Wealth is well redistributed. But in the Lorenz curve, it is not well redistributed. It is not well redistributed. What is the difference? There is a very great gap. This is called the inequality gap. Take a point on the graph. For example, take a point on the graph. Take, for example, we'll take somewhat 60%. This actually amount to 60% of the population. And where is the graph actually pointing to? Here we have 60% of the population. Not 60, 70. Let's take 70. 70% of the population. 60%. Yes, take 60%. So 60% of the population is actually having only 20% of the wealth. 60% of the population. Out of 100 people, 60 are having only 20 rupees or 20 crores. Rest 40% are having 80 crores. This is the difference in income redistribution. This is the real Lorenz graph or Lorenz curve. It has a very huge gap from perfect equality. In perfect equality, 100% of the people share 100% of the wealth, or 50% share 50% of the wealth, 60% share 60% of the wealth, 35% of the people to share 35% of the wealth. That is, there is perfect equality. Almost everybody is sharing equally. But in a Lorenz curve, what happens is that there is a grave difference between what is being held by different people. A very large section of people, 60% of the people, is holding just 20%. The rest, 40% is holding 80%. Remember the Oxfam report? That Oxfam report is actually based on that. 5% own more than 60% of country's wealth. This was based on Oxfam report. 5% of the people is holding 60% of the wealth. So look at the drastic difference between the share of distribution of wealth. Hope it is clear.